Wrist check as we begin today's review. I am wearing the Oris Aquas Date Lake Baikal Limited Edition, but today we're talking about Visitor. Visitor is one of my favorite micro brands. This is an upcoming release called the Duneshore Shallows. So basically a dive version of the popular Duneshore, and I like it a lot. Obviously, Visitor, they're very bold with their original design language, and it will not appeal to everyone, especially if you like traditional looking watches. This might be a little bit loud and proud for you, but it's something that I can get behind. I love when a brand, especially a new brand, an upstart brand, a micro brand, is not trying to piggyback off of a mainstream brand's design by doing a cheaper, paler imitation of someone else's hard work. I can't really get behind that no matter how great the specs may be. This is something that I can get behind of, even if it is a little bit bold and forward. This is original, and I really like that. So not only is the design very interesting, very contemporary, something that I enjoy personally, but I met with Phil. He actually moved to my neck of the woods here in Utah. Phil, the owner of Visitor, and it was great to share a meal with him, talk about his own watch collection, talk about what it's like being a brand owner, a designer. And so we're going to have him as a guest on my channel here very soon, where I interview him and talk about those points. I think you guys would really enjoy listening and seeing that. So that will happen within the next month or two. But Phil, he's an engineer, and he does all of the 3D CAD work for his designs, and that's very unusual for a brand owner to do. Something, again, that I can appreciate as a watch fan. Now let's talk about specifically this Duneshore Shallows. 44.3 millimeters in diameter, 51.2 lug to lug. The height was a little difficult to gauge because this has a very dramatic custom curved engraved case back that looks fantastic. But the most consistent measurement that I was able to attain is a little bit over 14 millimeters in height. This carries 22 millimeters for the lug width. There is drilled lug holes here, so it will make changing out straps very simple and easy to do with the spring bar tool. And then we have 200 meters of water resistance, a sapphire crystal with inner anti-reflective treatment, and then generous application of Superluminova C3. And this is one of the highlights of the watch apart from the original design language. We have a pen nib inspired handset, and you guys will notice a ridiculous amount of surface area on the minute hand here. So it looks fantastic in low light. And the minute hand, that's the hand that interacts with the elapsed timer on the bezel. So I like the fact that this is a little bit more dramatic and easy to gauge at a glance, even if it's in natural light, but especially in low light conditions. So if you're diving with this watch and you're down below, 30 meters or so, where the light coming from the surface is greatly diminished, you'll be able to read your backup watch, because you're going to be using a dive computer in all honesty, but you'll be able to read your backup watch quickly at a glance. Now let's take a look at this dial. We have the orange dial version on this prototype in front of my camera. I like the color play here. I love the sandwich construction. So if you look at the circumference of the dial, you'll notice each one of the minute indexes is a circular cutout. So that's the sandwich construction, and then we have applied markers for each one of the hour indexes. And again, low light, it's so good, long lasting, good potency to the C3. And I even like the detail of Visitor, the branding of the watch being loomed between the 2 and the 3 o'clock position. You'll also notice that the bezel is loomed, the indexing to 20, and we have little pips in the teardrop shape in the bezel that are loomed at the 12, the 6, and the 9 o'clock positions. Now the one at the 12 o'clock position is a little bit more pronounced than the other two, and will be even more pronounced on the production version. And that's to help you gauge which one is the main index for starting your elapsed timing. The look is kind of reminiscent of the Panerai submersible, but the shape is different, and I love the fact that instead of placing this on a flat bezel, this is done on a curved or a domed shape. on the bezel, which presents challenges in modeling and production, but is a nice design detail that I can appreciate. Now, talking about the movement, we have a Miyota 9039, which is Japanese made. Miyota is owned by the Citizen Group. This is a unidirectionally winding rotor. So occasionally as you're wearing the watch, if you move your wrist in the right position, you can feel that rotor kind of going to town, spinning around within the case. That's known as the Miyota wobble. It's also found on the Valjoux, the ETA Valjoux 7750 series chronograph. I know some guys do not like it, some guys enjoy it. They like being reminded that they're wearing something mechanical, something automatic. I have no feelings either way, but it's something that I want to mention. Now, just in closing, let me show you this on my 7.25 inch wrist. This is a very dominant form when it comes to the size. 44 wide, 51 long, 14 in height. But you guys can see it wears well. And it has that right amount of wrist presence that I enjoy. Not necessarily as a daily driver for my own personal tastes, but definitely an accent watch when I want to mix it up and maybe draw a little bit of attention to my wrist so I can have conversations with my friends, family, and associates about the watch that I'm wearing and maybe hopefully get someone interested in the hobby. So those are my thoughts on the Visitor Duneshore Shallows. Again, the wait list is opening up soon. Delivery will be December of 2020, and we will be having Phil as a guest on the Bruce Williams channel, and I'm really looking forward to doing that. So guys, reach out with any questions you may have. Thanks for taking the time to watch today. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I've enjoyed the laid-back, detail-focused approach to presenting watches. That's my goal. So thanks for being here today. Links are in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next video.